So I'm just going to check, Priyasha, I'm going to just check the video. Am I audible to you?
Yes, you are. Am I?
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely audible. I'm just going to check the video for both of us. And
Okay.
yes, we look good to go.
Great.
That's an
Awesome.
audio
Let's
check.
do this.
So wonderful, Priyasha. Welcome, welcome to Candid on with Ankit Nagpal. Welcome on this show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for
So
inviting me.
lovely. I broadcasted this that you're going to join in. First, I put it like a suspense, asking. So I got everybody's name from the show. Somebody said Sangram. Somebody said Sushmita.
Ah,
Somebody took your name. Priyasha. They know you more like Saundarya. So most of them send
Saundarya.
me Saundarya. And so in fact, Nishi is also writing that saw the series and your work was excellent. And
Thank you so much, Mandy.
so
Thank you,
yes,
Swati. Wow.
lot of compliments that I was getting on the broadcast. In fact, I got a lot of questions also for you from
Oh,
the
lovely.
broadcast list. But let's begin this, Priyasha, and let's begin this with Priyasha because you are a person who's been with a feather on your hat with multiple things. So how much I've known you, it's not just that you are an actor. How much I know of you, you've been. I mean, when I say in acting only, you've kind of diversified yourself in various things. You've done TV commercials, you've done theater, you've done series. I mean, multiple series that you've been a part of. And not just that, I believe you've also been a choreographer and you've been into various other things. So, how should I really address Priyasha Bhardwaj as an actor, as a choreographer, as a TV actor, as an ad actor? How should I? What would you suggest me?
Well, choti muh badi baat, but I would like to be addressed as an artist.
Superb. I think that covers it all for everything.
I mean, I know that there are very few artists in the world ever, and I know that Charlie Chaplin was a true blue artist, and that's something that I mean he was a legend, and I really look up to his work and a lot of others. So yes, my aim is to be an artist, be able to do whatever it is that my hands and legs allow me to.
Superb. I think we all saw your performance. We saw your acting as an artist, as an actor in AARYA, and it was really brilliant. We'll come there. We'll talk about it.
Thank
In
you.
fact, I'll also tell all my viewers that we have these 4 segments, which we'll quickly run through. The first one we have is a professional segment,
Mhm.
Priyasha. The other one is a little personal. Then we go on to the viewers' question, which I have with me, and then we have a little contest for all my viewers. Whoever answers the right answers with the questions that I ask, they get gifts from Voila Accessories and Gem Minds. They are my gifting partners.
Wow, so exciting.
Superb. So, Priyasha, I have known you from a long time, and I have known you in a different phase. Now I see you on television. I see you on different platforms which are bigger and nicer, and makes me really proud. So, anything that you'll want to share with me about your journey, because I also don't know from the scratch what your journey has been till what you are today.
My journey has been a very terha mera one and a completely unplanned journey. Because I wasn't the kind of kids who knew what they wanted to be when they grew up. और 5 साल में मुझे ये achieve करना है, 10 साल में मुझे ये करना है. मैं तो एक एक हफ्ता देख के चलती थी. I mean, okay, not that bad, but yeah, at best I knew what I was going to do the year. I was a psychology graduate. But soon after graduation, I started working. I did banking. I was working in a hospitality firm for a good number of years. Parallelly, I was always continuing my dance because dancing was something that I'd learned, trained as a child, and it just sort of stayed with me even through school and college. So I tried to make it as a profession also, but a part-time one because I wasn't sure how to take it up fully, really. And it used to scare me a little that if I let go of my job, will I run out of money? So that safety net I needed. But at one point in 2015, I let go of that safety net. I said, "Dekhte hain kya hone wala hai. Chodo, let's jump right into it." So that's when I jumped into a lot of other fields. Apart from dancing, I got into assistant casting. I started doing voiceovers. I did give auditions for plays back in Delhi. And then I got ad auditions because they knew me as a dancer. They needed a dancer, so I cracked some like that. Then they needed girl with short hair, and I had short hair shorter
Yeah.
hair there in Delhi. So they find in ads they need a typical face, girl with short hair, girl with so and so. So that's how I cracked it. And then side by side, I kept training more and more in acting because I really enjoyed being in front of the camera. I even worked
Right.
in I co-ran a film production house in Delhi. We used to make corporate films and digital ads and stuff. So I've been behind the camera doing all the production work on the walkie, events. That's when we
Yes.
connected. I did event
Yes.
management. So yes, I have done a plethora of things before really knowing, okay, this is what I need to commit myself to. And so yeah, it came late, but never mind. It's never too late. That's how I look at it. So yeah,
Wonderful. Quite a bumpy ride, I must say, but a lot of learning,
totally.
I believe.
Absolutely. Everything taught me something or the other. Yeah.
Superb. So, Priyasha, you've been, I was about to ask you this also, and you just mentioned there as well, that you've also been a voiceover artist as well, which,
Yeah.
I was doing a little research about you and finding it out. So, what about that? Like, what was that in specific that you were doing in voiceovers for any advertisement or any sort of a series?
So it's funny, I never knew that I could take this up without a formal training. I don't have training in voiceover, or I've not trained in music fully. I've been engaged in music, and I enjoy singing, etc. And I do it all on my own, but I didn't know how to go about it. But and now that I think about it, as a kid, I wanted to be a news reader. For me, enunciating words and like just reading and pretending like I'm in front of the TV was something I used to do as a kid. And in Delhi, I just happened to connect with somebody who were working with some of my theater friends, and they said that we needed a voiceover artist who will do children's books. I said okay. I gave my voice sample, and they liked my sample, and then that's how I started off here in
Right.
Delhi. In Bombay, I did a few commercials. Those jingles, and then with that at the end you have that in the advertisements, those voiceovers. So yes, I did a few of those as well. So I keep shuffling between here and there. It's really funny that I acting is my core now, for the past 2 years, but I keep meddling and shuffling between dancing and voiceover, whatever it is that I can get my hands on. So yeah.
Superb, superb. I think I'm getting so many comments. I'm sorry, I won't pick up comments in the middle, but I see
Please
a lot
do.
of compliments coming for you about Arya, and a lot of people like Rahul Ganju, I have Ashish, then I have Resham. They're all admiring your work in
Thank
Arya.
you so much.
But guys, we are going to go there to that segment as well. We'll go step by step. So, how did Arya come to you? Because when I talk about some mainstream actor from Bollywood, if I'm not mistaken, you did a Britannia advertisement also, where I think Deepika was also with you.
Yes,
Am I
I've
right
done
with
two
that?
commercials with Deepika Padukone coincidentally. One was
Yeah,
Britannia Good Day a few years ago, and Go I Bibo. There's another one I did with her last year. So yeah.
right. So from there, now you were here with Sushmita, and you were not a distant relative. You were immediate younger sister, which actually played a very important role in the entire series, which I watched. And I finished the entire series in 2 days only because I wanted to have this chat when I'm well versed. And I'll come there as well. But how did this entire series come to you, Priyasha? Like, if you could throw a light on that.
I also don't know fully how it came about. I think it is partly look and partly luck. And thirdly, maybe I did a good audition because I auditioned for the part.
No, but this was like, that's what I wanted to know. Like, my question mainly meant that was it an audition, or was it somebody who got in touch with you saying that, how did it happen? Maybe the director came to you. That's what I wanted to ask you. Or you actually went for an
Yeah.
audition.
So it's an interesting story because I had the co-creator of the show, Sandeep Modi, who works very closely with Ram Madhwani. He directed me in an ad. He directed me in a Hotstar commercial, and I worked with him single day shoot. But we had a good camaraderie. We understood each other. We hit it off immediately, and it was a nice experience. The ad
Right.
also turned out really well, and they liked my energy, etc. Now he ended up doing this series. Now I had no idea that he was working on this. Side and parallelly, I was in good terms with this one casting director called Abhimanyu Ray. He calls me for a lot of ad auditions because that's what he mainly does. But then this web series came his way, and he said, I have a part for you. Audition for Saundarya, audition for Maya. Here are the lines. Here is an NDA, etc., etc. Come day after, come prepared. I said, okay. I was very excited. So I came prepared with both the scripts, with both Saundarya and Maya. Maya, who plays Jawahar's wife, and Arya's friend. So then they took my audition for Saundarya's part, and they said, okay, now should I do Maya? They're like, no, you're a little young, too young for Maya. But I said, I prepared it. I want to give it. It's okay. I could put my grade. So I was desperate to give both the auditions. But eventually they said, no, it's okay. You've done a decent part in that audition for Saundarya. Go ahead, go home. And I went home. And then a few weeks later, I got a call. They said there are 3 people shortlisted. I said, then after that, I just kept praying, okay, God, please make this work for me. And then, I don't know, it was like really, I felt so fortunate that yes, they called me and they said, you are locked for Saundarya. Oh my God, what a day it was.
Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful. When was this? Like this year itself?
Last year in August, September.
August, September. And I think your birthday comes around November, if I'm not right, if I'm right, right?
Yes.
Around the 8th.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. Wonderful. So, Priyasha, I'll tell you something what my observation was about your character. One very interesting observation I came out with. So, in the entire family, in the entire family that you were in, like Sushmita, then you had your brother, then you had your father, in that entire character, your character was the most clean character. It had no controversies, it had no rollbacks, it had no crime with you attached, nothing was there. So all in all, like, I think Sohila ji also somebody that I know very well. I've known her for years now. She belongs to the media industry. She started in from there as well. So I've seen the chemistry like she has with people. So are you. I've seen you working. So how has been your comfort or discomfort level? Anywhere, any memories that you want to share with us during this series that you were doing your acting for? That any incident you want to share that probably was very, something that you remember that it has left a scar on your mind in some way, good or bad?
Good or bad, both.
Yeah, anything. Yeah.
Okay, well, firstly, to answer the first observation that you said, yours was one of the cleanest character, or maybe the cleanest character. Yes, I found that very interesting about her. See, she wasn't somebody who had some stuff going on in her head, but she was something else outwardly. So she's a simple girl, simple sweet girl. But now, how do you make that character relatable? And I don't know how it happened, but I kind of surrendered to the process. Only later, when I read the script, I saw that, okay, this girl could be a simple sister who really supports Arya all the way through and keeps assuring her that I'm there. If at all you need my help, I'm there. But the fact that Saundarya had such an important arc in the series, it starts with her wedding and there's something shifts in the story, and then it ends with her, I don't want to give out spoilers, but it huge without doing anything. Saundarya is doing so much. So I thought that was amazing. But yes, there were times when I also tried to layer certain things. For example, when Bob and my niece Aru's relationship, I don't fully understand it. I try and judge it sometimes, but I try and tell Bob, no, it's okay. She's just looking for a father figure. But yes, there are a lot of things that I'm feeling. Maybe it's insecurity. It could be anything. But insecure from your own niece, which is so strange. So I'm also dabbling with those things. So yes, in certain scenes, I've tried to put that across. So that was fun. But, playing a good girl, and just being with Arya and being able to empathize with her. just being able to empathize with somebody, understanding the other person's sufferings rather than just being indulgent about your own miseries or your own issues. That was a refreshing feeling. And I learned so much about empathy, about just loving another person selflessly.
Right.
In terms of incidents, there were plenty of incidents, so many beautiful experiences. Hardly I can say that, oh, that was a bad experience, really, because it was a wonderful team we I worked with, and they all worked with so much love and passion, and it was a beautiful, healthy environment to work in. Most times when we're running out of time or something, people could get aggressive, and in this industry, everything is so expensive. Expensive. Right. Just a minute. Okay. I'm on a live session. Now step out. Sorry.
No problem.
So yeah, it was all in all a great experience. If I can think of something particularly bad, okay, the challenge that we faced was home dubbing, because soon after the shoot, lockdown happened and we all had to do our post-production from home, including home dubbing. I had no idea how that is done. So रात को 1-2 बजे उठ के जब सन्नाटा हो जाता है is when we had to do dubbing. So I was screaming and hushed tones and all kinds of stuff. Sitting in my drawing room was bizarre and very challenging. And at one point, and there were a lot of technical issues. So yes, that was a roller coaster ride also. So many.
But now you know the tricks and trades of it. Then now that you learned.
Yes.
And you were anyway a voiceover, somebody who's been doing voiceover. So I think that would have kind of helped you in some way. Probably in comparison to any fresher, you would have got an edge.
Kind of, but just to tell you, voiceovers and dubbing are very different from each other. Dubbing, the whole lip sync part and getting the emotion, because voiceovers sort of are a standardized, like an entrepreneur, just direction, just to the camera, kind of instructional in a way. But dubbing is a whole different ball game. So I learned so much from it. Yeah.
Like Khushbu also mentioned, I was about to just say that dubbing from home must have been something to do because you had to finish the series, and it's amazing that you finished it, because it helped a lot of people in terms of the lockdown days. I think a lot of people could see the series, had that time. True. Anyway, I think the series on Hotstar are very intriguing, and people love to watch it. But having this time when people are home and they are watching all these series, it's great that you guys completed that.
It's true. I mean, we were very lucky. But on the flip side, I wish we were having this conversation face to face, sitting next to each other rather than on live. That's also part and parcel of lockdown. So, which is a
That's true. That's true. In fact, I would add one more thing, that if probably the lockdown would have not happened, I would have maybe not started this show, because I was pretty happy with my PR and my grooming academy. So this was something that I just thought that I have such good friends who are so talented. Like you are there. I've had a chat with Shivani, Rahul Roy, and many others. So I thought, why not have a nice conversation and have a great opportunity having a chat with you. So Priyasha, my next question comes to you is very closely that you were like the younger sister of Sushmita Sen. That's something which has been on screen. But off screen, how has been your experience, the relation with her? Because I've seen a couple of pictures of you both that you've posted. I have worked with Sushmita also as my co-jury member for her pageant. So I know her nature, but I want to know, how would it be the same that I had that kind of those vibes from her, which I'll share with you post this. But I want to know from you, how was your relation with Sushmita off cameras?
It was really, really beautiful. I can't describe it, but I will try. When I first met her for an acting workshop before the shoot happened, obviously I was starstruck. I was very nervous. I saw one paper right outside the office saying acting workshop, Sushmita, AARYA, Priyasha, Saundarya. I was like, oh my God, this is big. Like, should I enter the space? I entered and she was there. I had a little fumble also. I just stepped down and I had a little clowning moment there. So I was so nervous. I didn't even see there was a step down there. So I went like that. Oh, hi, I'm playing Saundarya. I went like that, little clumsy moment. She said, hello, Saundarya. And then she just gave me this big tight hug, and then we hit it off. After that, there was no turning back. Even in the workshop, when we were reading our scenes together, I would hold her face. There were times when I had to hold her face and just look into her eyes and give her certain lines. And she tells later, she's telling her acting coach Vinod Rawat, she's like, ये मेरी तरह देखती है, you know, she looks at the eyes एकदम full focus की तरह, दोनों eyeballs पे देखती है. She's noticing all these things. So I had a great time, you know, and she's so lovely and so generous. Even after shooting in the evenings, when we were in Jaipur shooting, we were constantly around each other. So even after that, we used to just hang around for dinner and just sit around on like this nice round table. We're just jamming, singing music, and just having a ball and just sitting next to each other. You forget that she's Miss Universe. She is somebody that millions of people admire because she's such a beautiful and simple girl at the end of the day. But she still has that aura, and she has it all the time. All the time.
Absolutely.
So it just feels lovely to just sit and listen to her because she has so many stories to tell. So all in all, it was beautiful experience, really.
But now I can admit that I completely agree with you, because I got this chance to do a show with her while she was my co-jury member for a pageant. And this was like, I think 1.5, 2 years back. And she was so down to earth. We had a great chat as a co-jury. She was sitting right next to me and we were having conversations. We cracked a few jokes. And, so it was so nice. That stardom thing was not there with her. Somebody was sitting with me next to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do a full live session just on my stories with Sushmita. This is just a little teaser, huh? Because I know people want to know. People want to know from people like me. I'm like you guys. You know, we are all. I was not born with a silver spoon or like in the Bollywood industry. I'm just somebody who was just sitting in a desk doing a desk job just the other day. So I think people will really enjoy that. Just food for thought for you, Ankit, in case you want to have an exclusive.
Sure, absolutely. In fact, I asked you this question very specifically because somewhere you had mentioned on your post saying that sisters for life. And that's where I saw that and I realized that this is the question I must ask. And so probably going on to another question that I want to ask you is, which I also had in mind, and a lot of people are writing here only on this chat, so I need not even have to have a personal DM from them, is that a lot of people feel bad that, that Saundarya eventually dies. And so, of course, that's a storyline. That's something which is a script writer who's written a script and done a story. So probably you may not have much say on that. But does this also put a question for a fact that for the next season, do we see you? Do we not see you? Because technically in the show, you're no longer there.
You saw my body burnt to ashes.
Yeah, exactly. So how does that revival happen? Does it happen? Does it really happen in any which way?
Sorry?
Does the revival in any which way you think, does it happen? Anything that you can share with us? Any future plans?
Well, people are still watching season 1. There's only just initial talks that have started about season 2. I can't really say. I don't want to say no because there is a possibility. There could be flashbacks. There could be anything. So I don't want to say a full no. I have my fingers crossed. I don't know. I really don't know the second season, the script for the second season. So I'm just gonna hope. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'll still be doing something and hopefully
I'm sure
more stuff.
I'm sure you did wonderfully well. I must tell you seriously, and I'm saying this not because you're on the show and you're live here with me. I genuinely feel that you did a brilliant acting, Priyasha. And I was really impressed, I must tell you, because I've seen you off TV screens as well working. And it was wonderful to see you on screen. So when we talk about this script, Priyasha, I have one more question before I go further and then I go on to the personal segment. Is that how much say do you have really when you're doing a show like this with the script? Are you able to change something ever as an actor? Can you tell your director or your script writer, or you have to really blindly follow what they tell you? Or do you have a say? Or it depends on the, the kind of equation you have?
Exactly. It depends on the equation. It depends on which production house you're working on. I've done Made in Heaven. I did Kafir. I've done one more project, which will release later this year. And then I did AARYA. So 4 different production houses, 4 different equations that you have with the director. Someone wants to really stick to the script. Like, no, we've got an approval on this. So even they need to kind of be answerable to somebody. So even if they want to get into a conversation, sometimes time is a constraint and they need to just get with it. Sometimes they think that, no, the script is very beautifully written, so don't meddle with that and just play that part. But particularly about Arya, we were able to contribute to the lines, to the character. There were so many times we were improvising lines on the spot. Most of the scenes that have made it to the final edit has me coming up with something on the spot. Like, for example, there's this one scene during Arya's birthday party when I'm just going outside to meet Bob and Aru, and they're having a conversation. By the end, I go and talk to Bob about something, and then I ended up stepping on the staircase, almost tripping, and then I had to I didn't say sorry, cut. I just kept going with it, and they kept it. Obviously, this production house, Ram Madhvani Films, is open to the idea of making mistakes and then creating magic with it. So they let us be, which was a blessing,
Right.
I must say, because at one point the actor also wants to give it their own perspective once they
Sure.
understand what it is that you're trying to say through the lines or the
Sure.
character. So yes,
Sure.
was given the
So,
opportunity.
okay, well said, well said. Quite. I mean, quite educating in terms of, because these are some questions that all viewers sometimes have in mind, but we don't know where the answers can really fall in.
Yeah.
One more question I want to ask you, which is like quite, I would say it's like a candid answer that I like from you, as the show says. That how do you see? It's not about Arya, by the way. I'm saying it, asking you this question in general. What are your thoughts about these series which are on these Hotstars and Netflix and all these things, where we find that the language is a little more abusive, it's more open, there are some bold scenes, there are certain things which probably we do not see on a national television, on TV screens and stuff. So do you think do you encourage that? Do you think that should be? Because like I feel a lot of people, like when I speak to my friends and other people, they at times tell me that we watch these series, but somehow our parents will not appreciate it if they watch it, for some reason, because probably the ethics and the upbringings and stuff and whatever it may be. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, I would love to know that.
Well, I, as an individual, could have a certain opinion about it, but I, as an actor, have a different opinion because I have to be doing those scenes, possibly. I didn't have
Right.
any in this particular series, but I may be put on a spot that, okay, here's a character, this, that, and it has these scenes. Now, would I be comfortable with it? Um, uh, it's a tough one because you have to really know the director. You have to have a conversation with the director. How do you want it done? How do you see this happening? If his vision and my vision don't match, then I might be uncomfortable doing it. So it's very subjective. It depends on the director, depends on the production house, on the project, on the character. If a character is a 2 day is a secondary casting or whatever, she has 5 days of job and she's not primary cast, but in those 2 or 3 scenes she has one of these scenes, what will the audience how will the audience perceive her? So I have to think so many things, that tomorrow the casting director shouldn't call me, there is a scene so and so, come, because you've done,
Yeah.
that those kind of things happen a lot. They tend to stereotype you, or typecast you rather. So I, as an actor, have to be very careful before choosing any project. But as an individual, I was watching Arya with my grandmother. I'm living with my grandmother these days. She's 76 years
Yeah.
old, and she watched all this. All the scenes. There was this one scene I was really uncomfortable showing her. I said, I'm just going to skip this. I'm just going to say, it's okay. I'll tell you what the story. She's like, no, wait. It's okay. If I do get uncomfortable, I'll tell you. She watched it. She didn't fully understand. She said, what was it? I said, it's okay. So leave it. Then let's watch the next scene. So yes, it obviously makes me uncomfortable. But she watched it, and she also did say a comment which wasn't in favor of watching so many of these scenes.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I mean, unless and until I am making a film, I can't say anything. I will, if I make a film or
Right.
write a story tomorrow, I don't know, but as an actor, I feel like this. As an individual, yes, I do get uncomfortable if
No,
I'm
but
watching
in
anything
general,
serious.
my question would have been in general if you had not been an actor and you had not been
Right.
an Arya. Forget, I'm not
Yeah.
even talking about Arya actually. I'm
Yeah.
talking in general. Like I've seen
Right.
series, I saw special ops also, I saw other things as well. So the language at times when there is an abusive language or certain scenes are there. I saw series Hostage and all of these things. So if you had not been an actor, I'm just trying to understand that you think you would have taken it rightly, such series on Hotstars and other things which are a little more probably open with the idea of such things.
So I think everything, as long as it is done in balance, as long as it is done based on some real facts, I'm okay with it. If a series talks has too much abusive language, I mean, is it really that we all talk in this language? That every other word is abusive? Not really. I mean, at least I have not seen. So if you're trying to project an extreme version of reality, then I have a problem with it.
Right.
Be it sexual or abusive or whatever. So try and show a more real, as long as it is from the real world. I don't particularly have any issue, because that's life, and that's what we show in films.
Superb, superb. Great. I think well answered there. I wanted to ask you something. Can you see any comments like flowing? Because one comment has just frozen on my screen. Are they
Oh,
moving
I
on
see
yours?
lots. I see lots of comments. Like if
Okay.
I were to read them, we wouldn't be able to.
For some reason on my screen, there is this one comment which is frozen since five
Oh no.
minutes and nothing is moving. So I've opened
The
my
last
other phone
comment that is
literally.
there is from Vaibhav. Are you single?
Are you single? I'm seeing it just to see. I'm on the other phone because I have to see the comments there. For some reason, this has got a little frozen on
Okay.
this. But how
Somebody's
about this
also
lock?
saying they'll miss me in Arya. Oh, I'll also miss myself if I don't show up. Because I really did fall in love with the name Saundarya, with the character, with everything that they did with the character in terms of a look and everything. I really, I felt like another individual, So that was,
Right.
it's tough to let go of it suddenly like that.
We'll miss you honestly, and I hope to see you back with some other character there. Maybe let's see what the
Thank you.
director and the script writer would put it across.
Let's see.
Uh,
Yeah.
so, how has been your lockdown time? I just want to know that, like, there is something that of course, you were busy in this, but how do you see your time? That how did you like had this time? Did you do something new? I like to know. One, secondly, I'll also want to know how do you see the industry now, because it's gone to a setback in terms of the work, which is completely stopped. And so, how do you see things really moving up now?
In terms of how life will be, I'm only prepared halfway through. I don't know until till the time I go back and actually uh, be in the heart of the whole thing. I really wouldn't know, but I think that things will now become very tight in terms of budget. They're going to be very smart in selecting actors. They will want to know who's a quicker actor, who can ensure that they can take care of the other things like clothes. For example, I'm talking about ads, for example, because right now there are ad shoots happening. Web shoots and everything have actually been put on hold. A lot of the projects that I've heard of. Talking specifically about ads, I know that they would want to get an actor who's easily adaptive, who would take care of their own makeup and clothes and stuff, because they'll have to limit the number of crew in the on sets, so stuff like that. So I'll, as an actor, now again have to up my game even more.
Sure.
How easy will it be to work with me, or how adaptive am I, adaptable? I really can't say about the other longer projects what's going to happen really. Maybe we will have to just wait it out till life gets closer to being normal. It's not possible to shoot like this in this
Right.
situation.
No,
How will I
not at all.
possibly wear a PPE suit and be Saundarya? Tell me.
With Saundarya, you need to be a little Sundarya also. But for that Sundarya, you will not have to have the PPE with you for sure.
So yeah, that's that. But in terms of how I spent time during lockdown, you see, I've ever since I graduated, I just have been working. Even holidays have been work trips because either I carry my laptop or whatever. So for the first time, I've taken a break. So that 1 month, 1.5 months, I felt great. I just reconnected with nature. I would go to the terrace, I'd do random stuff and all of that. And then I started getting bored. I'm like, okay, now I need to do something. So then I started dancing again. And then I'm taking online dance classes. I've started doing home voiceover work. Acting work I keep doing. You may have seen it on my Instagram. I keep putting up
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, I've again become very busy. I have no time.
But during the show, did you give some inputs for your dancing skills that you have? Did you give some inputs to the entire family while the wedding? Because that was the only time when everybody had a dance.
Yeah,
Uh,
can you
did
imagine? Like, I've been on the other side. I've been a wedding choreographer for so long, and suddenly I'm like this one bride, being a bridezilla and getting choreographed. But no, I didn't tell the choreographers that I had been on their side, and they were like, "Okay, do this, that," and they're like, "You're picking up pretty fast." I'm like, "Yeah, I like dancing." So
Okay, I
yeah,
hope they
that
don't see my recording and they call you up now after the series.
no, but it was fun
So,
dancing.
Tiasha, I'm going to go a little towards the personal side of the section of to ask you a few things. And I always have an adjoining question that I like to ask my guest from the professional to personal, so it doesn't go very abruptly. So, you've been a very simple person in AARYA. Like the entire personality of yours has been very simple. Like you've not been very flamboyant, and you've not been your character has been very very simple. And so are you in your life. How much I know, as a person, you're a very simple person. You're a very down to earth person. You're like very simple. के जैसे हो वैसे ही मैं ठीक हूँ अभी. Take it or leave it sorts. Like I think that's the way you are. That's what I know of you. So how do you want to elaborate that? And your personal life, are you genuinely like this, or is it just my perception that I've always noticed that?
Maybe you're right. I don't, like I told you, even life I hadn't planned. I just go with the flow. That's how I naturally am. Even when I wake up, most days I make a to do, but I never end up following it. So I'm very impulsive. I don't think before I speak most times. I just speak whatever comes to me the first time. I mean, it just makes my life much easier without I don't like to complicate things, so I just like kind of go with it. It depend it I mean, I apply that in my relationships, I apply that during work. Even when I work, I'm meeting new people. These people, I mean, I have to have a work relationship with them, so I can't get too friendly either. Now they might take it as a girl, as a woman, I have to
Right.
think those things. I don't
Absolutely.
want them to think that I'm taken the wrong way or whatever. So I always have to calculate those certain things without offending the other person. But yeah, otherwise I'm a very chilled, impulsive, happy-go-lucky person.
Superb, superb. Thank you, Manish. I saw a compliment on the other phone saying the session is very well and he's enjoying it. So,
Awesome. Thank
Priyasha, also, how about your personal hobbies, your things, what you do, what you like doing in your free time? Like, we'll take this section very quickly. Quick questions like, what are literally your hobbies? Like, what do you do when you're on your free time?
Well, the past 3 months, I have been playing with my 6-year-old cousin. I love playing with him. He's a I don't know, I get to learn so much from him. So I observe kids, I am observing my grandparents, just being around family and just watching people. Even when I'm in a metro back then, when life was normal, I used to just observe people. For me, that unknowingly is a good trait for an actor to have. So I just do that a lot. And apart from that, I love doing physical work. I love doing yoga. I love to listen to music, and I love traveling. I love desserts. Stuff like
It doesn't really show on you, even if you love them and you actually hog on them. You're quite fit
even
that
I
way.
don't know where is it going really. I don't want to get a fright 10 years
You're
later. I'm
blessed.
like, oh my god, there it is, my bum.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But you've also, I believe you're a pet lover. I saw a picture of yours with a dog. You have a pet. Is it your own?
Not my own. Well, of course, my own in a way, but he doesn't live with me anymore. He's with my mom and my sister, and my mom is online right now. She's saying hi.
Namaste,
So
auntie. Hello.
that's that's Odie, and yes, he is adorable, and he got me to just lose my little bit of fear that I had about dogs. So he's been a wonder boy in our lives, and yes, ever since that, I mean, it's a joy to have dogs around. So yep.
Superb. I know, yeah. I have five of them. So,
Wow, really?
so yeah, I've got these three Pekingese. I've got one boxer and one Spitz. So we,
Oh
as a
my,
family overall here, we are all dog lovers. So in the whole
lovely.
building, they are all relatives and they're up and down, running here and there. So they are
Oh,
really a
what a
blessing.
joy.
Trust me, they're like family. You must come over
Yes,
when you're
true.
here in Delhi. I must invite
I
you.
will. I
Better way when
will.
you're back here. So, any cuisine that you like in terms of food?
Like I told you, I'm big into desserts. Just feed me anything with sugar.
Something in main course?
I honestly, I eat everything. Back when I used to work for the hotel company and we used to travel to places and they used to feed me octopuses also, baby octopuses. I would eat it and be like, oh wow, this is interesting, nice and chewy. So yes, I'm not a hardcore non-vegetarian, but I enjoy all kinds of food. I don't have any preference.
Do you cook, Priyasha? I wish I could take auntie
No,
online. She would tell me the truth. Some things, if you're
I
if
would
you're
tell you the
escaping
truth
out,
too. I would tell you the truth too. No,
somewhere I
I'm
would have
not.
taken auntie and said, "Auntie, kitna sach hai ye?"
Oh, my mom is commenting, sugar is bad.
Oh yeah, of course I see auntie Anandita Bhardwaj, right?
Yes.
Okay,
No,
I'm
I
literally
don't
peeping in
cook.
the other phone to see that. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, to
So do
answer
you
your question,
cook?
I don't cook, but if I have to survive, I mean, I'll survive if I'm left on my own. कुछ ना कुछ तो बना ही दूंगी. Scrambled
Basically,
eggs.
I'm telling you, auntie, auntie is writing she doesn't cook, but auntie, I can feel, auntie must be somewhere saying कि बेटा आप सीख लो, high time. What if you'll get married, खाना वाना थोड़ा तो आना चाहिए type. So
She's given up.
that's
She's
all
given up.
mothers, like all mothers feel that way. Like it's just not for a
I
gender bias. I mean, I think my mom would also say it for me as well. That when you get
right,
married, you कुछ तो whenever you have a fight with your
right.
wife, maybe she goes away. You should know how to cook.
True.
But so
Sorry, my
Priyasha,
friend
any
Vinesh is saying that makes me happy. The fact that I love desserts. He's a chef and he's a wonderful chef. Just watching his videos make me go like that. So yes, he's happy I'm into desserts.
superb, superb, nice. I'm sure now he after the session he must ask you what he can make for you now that he knows that. So
Yeah.
wonderful. So Priyasha, if you have an option between fame and money, what would you choose?
Wow. Suddenly a very question.
Serious question,
Um,
yeah.
hmm. But does it mean that if I pick the other, I won't have any of the other?
You have to choose one. What would you choose if you're given an option? Somebody gives you fame and or somebody gives you money. What would you
Fame.
choose if you had to choose one? Fame.
Fame.
Okay,
I'll make money,
interesting.
I know.
Superb. And any one thing, if in the past you get an opportunity to change, what would that be?
I wish I had gotten into acting few years earlier. I would have, by now, I would have had more work in my kitty. But never mind.
But I think, I mean, anytime when you start, it's always a beginning and it's always a great start. Like, I think
True,
you never know, maybe you would have not got this series if you
true,
had been starting the acting and you would have been doing something else, you would have missed out on this one. So I think
true. But you
we
know what I
must
miss?
bless.
Yeah. But what I
Yeah.
miss is I wish I had shifted to Bombay a little earlier and gotten into the industry sooner. Why? Because now I had just about gotten comfortable living in that city, and then I had to come back, and now I don't know when will Bombay become Bombay again. It's very sad when I think about
When will the world become the world? I think
it. Yeah,
that's I
true,
think something we are all missing out. So Priyasha,
true.
are you spiritual and are you spiritually inclined about something that you would want to share
So I've been
as your
dabbling with
nature?
that. Sorry, 1 minute. I'm just gonna have to shift my room.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
Sorry,
believe
ask me that.
you're in some hills and some secluded place I know, which I spoke to you and you told me over a call.
I'm in Assam right now. Um,
Ah, awesome.
yeah. So this has been lovely here. Spiritually inclined, I've been dabbling with a few things. I have gone for satsangs. I have tried to do Deepak Chopra meditation. I currently am chanting Rengyo. What am I saying? Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. So I'm trying a lot of things because yes, I have struggled in that aspect quite some time now, and I'm trying to see what is it that's going to really work for me. So I'm trying, but yes, at the moment I'm trying Buddhism.
Do you when you like do you like traveling though?
I love traveling. Yes,
So if you have to choose between beach or hills, what would you choose?
hills definitely.
Ah, super high five on that. So, we'll go on to the next segment, that is the viewer's question. Before I go there, I really want to know that some people also messaged me asking me this, that does Priyasha do something for her fitness? Of course, after knowing that you eat a lot of desserts, this is more of a relevant question. What do you do with your fitness bit? Like, a lot of people want to know that. Because you are quite
I
petite, you are pretty much in shape. So, what do you do to be the way you are?
So I wasn't like this maybe 10 years or 15 years ago. I because I have been active in terms of dancing, maybe that has kept things in check, but I've never gone to the gym. I've never gone on a diet. I've not done intermittent fasting. I've not done any of those things. But it's just been the fact that I have been active. I step out of home a lot. I do my veggie shopping on my own. I've started doing, I mean, I have been following yoga. Dancing has been there pretty much throughout my life. Teaching dance takes up a lot of energy, I realize.
Sure.
So because I've been doing that for over a period of time, that has kept me on my toes. But that's pretty much it. At home, I do most of my workout. A little 30 minutes is also good enough. And just keeping your food in check in terms of eating smaller meals. That's what I follow. I mean, don't gobble up and watch TV and gobble. So we end up overeating, especially when we're distracted with something else. I try and
Sure.
focus on the food when we're eating, and you end up eating less and you stay full for longer. That's just something I follow.
Right.
I've been following. That's that. Nothing else.
So we see a new girl, new Priyasha coming out after unlock or lockdown. After Corona is
Possibly.
off, we see a new girl coming out. So before I go a little rapid fire with you, which is going to be very easy, don't worry, I'm not going to make you much nervous on that. But one question, last thing I want to ask you is that apart from Arya, particularly on Hotstar, is there any other series that you watched and you've enjoyed?
On Hotstar,
Yeah.
no, Arya beats every other show.
Super. Great. So let's have a quick rapid fire with you, Priyasha. So you have to tell me something that comes to your mind. When I say a word, you have to tell me what's the first thing that comes to your mind. I'm going to tell you 10 words quickly. They can be individuals as well. So what comes to your mind if I say Madhuri Dixit?
मैं माधुरी दीक्षित बनना चाहती हूँ. Do I have to answer in one word?
One word, preferably.
Oh, do I have to
Yes.
answer also in one word? Oh, okay, okay. एक दो तीन.
Uh,
The song.
how about Kangna Ranaut?
Love.
Sridevi?
Oh, आ गया word. Oh,
Nawazuddin Siddiqui.
super.
Lovely. Alia Bhatt.
Lovely.
Jackie Shroff.
Ah, Jagudada. That's what he's called, no?
I missed on that. So you said
Jagudada.
something?
Oh, I
Jakuda.
mean, huh.
Okay, from actors, I'm going to some individual things. Quickly, 5 words again. How about something if I say chocolates?
To die for. TDF.
Piercings?
Nah.
Fire?
Hot. I don't know. Hot.
Okay, well said. I think that's what somebody could think of. Newspaper.
I wish I read more of it. Sorry, that was longer.
No problem. Priyasha, can you spell your name backwards?
AHSAYIRP.
Awesome. Good, yeah. 10
Oh my
on
God, I
10.
attempted it for the first time. Nobody's asked me this.
Wonderful. That's what Candid with Ankit Nagpal is.
Super.
So we will not now take you more to rapid zones. I'm going to ask you Weaver's question quickly. So I had a lot of them. I had a lot of questions, Priyasha, with me, but I've chosen just two questions right now because many of them I asked you also while we were chatting. Like somebody wanted to ask about the fact that you die at the end and would you be a revival and fitness and all of that were some viewers' question as well, which I included in my
Yeah.
own questions. So one question that came to me from Sapna Srivastava from Kolkata, and she has asked me this saying, I want to be an actor. So what should I follow to be like Priyasha? Should I be joining an acting academy or should I be doing theater or should I be, do modeling? So, and later she's explained saying that a lot of people say that if you want to be an actor, then, first get into modeling and then, you can get into acting. So she wants to know your advice. If she wants to be an actor, what would you suggest her?
So she's Sapna from Delhi.
Sapna
Oh,
Srivastava from
Kolkata.
Kolkata.
Kolkata. Well, I would say because I have mine is a tried and tested one, my own journey, which is learn and do some plays that really kind of gives you a very good and strong base. Post which also find out about camera work because the knowledge of both is very important in order to become a fuller actor. Do modeling, but
I've lost your voice here. I've lost your voice, Priyasha.
you'll have to pick one eventually. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. I lost your voice in the middle.
Okay. So I was saying that you must grab all kinds of opportunity. Even modeling will teach you something, and then eventually you'll find your way. So I can just say that, using my journey, just keep trying, keep going, you'll always meet more people. Those people we may be able to connect you with somebody else who you eventually want to work with and stuff like that. So yes, keep working.
Superb. I think if she's watching this or she watches the replay, because we're going to put this on the YouTube and on the Insta as well, she must get her answer there. So I have a question from Hitesh Mongia from Delhi, and he's asked me this that um, please ask Priyasha that what are the difficulties she faced during AARYA? Were there any difficulties that you faced?
Yeah, my wig was very heavy.
How about the
Sometimes.
shadi? How about the shadi outfit? Usually lehengas are very heavy.
I loved dressing up like that. Oh my God. I don't think I'm not sure if I'll ever get dressed like that because I was dressed up by the best. Thea Tekchandani is the finest costume designer of Bollywood. Diya Mirza, Sonam Kapoor, you name it, and she dresses them up. And then she
Sure.
dressed me up. I was like, I was on cloud nine, so no complaints about that. But yes, the wig used to get heavy a little bit. But yeah, in terms of challenging, I wouldn't say there was any bad experience. Really, I was blessed. I'm grateful for every experience, every part of this journey. But yes, the difficult one was the shooting the death the death part where I had to be, whatever. And we
Yeah.
shot it, and because this was a 360, like I'm wearing the T-shirt which says Arya, I survived 360 degrees. What that means is that we used to do longer takes, which means we can't take one scene and then chill and then do another one. So it used to be longer takes. So you have to be in character longer, which means I had to be dead longer, and it is damn tough. It is very difficult.
Yeah, I'm
So yes,
sure.
that was one
But
challenge.
did you know that this would happen eventually? Like when you started the script, were you told initially? This is my question I want to ask you now. That did you know that this will happen eventually, or did it come as it processed the entire show?
No, I was locked for the character first. Then when I was given the script and I read all the episodes, is and I actually discovered what all she goes through and what happens. So I was like, whoa, there's a whole section about my dying. The whole 9th episode is about that. Yeah.
Do you have a pet name, Priyasha? What are you called at home? Any pet names that you have?
Yeah, when I was first born, I was called Cuckoo, Kuku. My grandfather still calls me that, but then mom gave me Isha. Isha is my pet name.
Isha. Isha.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Cuckoo sounds interesting though. For all the viewers, I'm sure a lot of people are going to call you with that. So, also, do you sing, Priyasha? Can we hear a few lines from you, possibly?
Oh my God. This I wasn't prepared for, but I sing a
For
lot.
nothing actually, because this was all to happen supposedly live. So I would love to hear. I mean, this is almost the last segment that we are on. Probably the last thing I'm going to ask you.
Okay, I wasn't prepared so much, but yes, I've been humming this one song from Arya, which is I am big into old Hindi songs, big. So this one song has really stayed with me, and I'll try and sing it. बड़े अच्छे लगते हैं ये धरती ये नदियाँ ये रहना और तुम.
Super, wonderful, wonderful. Big claps. I had so many questions that I was seeing, while we were chatting. I'm sure you also saw a few. So somebody asked me, what are the best dance steps that Priyasha has? And somebody asked me something else. Do you want to answer any of these? Like, would you want to tell us any dance steps or something somebody's asking?
How do you tell a dance step?
I know I just saw the questions, so I thought I'll still ask. Yeah, it says favorite dance form. Sorry, dance form. Vaibhav asked this.
Vaibhav, I love Bhangra. Although I haven't, I only watch and learn. I watch the Bhangra Empire videos on YouTube. And I'm just watching and learning because I'm currently teaching Bhangra to my dance students online. So I want to keep expanding that and teach them new stuff. So I love Bhangra and I love Punjabi.
You have another student when you come to Delhi, that's me, because this is one problem I face when I attend marriages. And I'm a Punjabi though, I'm a Nagpal, but somehow Bhangra I cannot do. Like people go free on that and do full on Gitta Shitta. I can't do that, so I need to learn that from you. So I show you, this is my last question to you from Avi's Kitchen, and he's asked me favorite Saundarya quote.
Okay. Life एक संघर्ष, जीवन एक संघर्ष तो है, पर जीवन एक सांग्रिया भी तो है ना यार. That's that. Jeevan ek sangria hai. It's a mix of sweet and sour and everything.
Sweet and sour. Priyasha, I'm going to come back for the questions and the contest, but in 10 seconds, Instagram is going to switch off our conversation. So I'm going to come live in a minute back again with you. 3